producer, man. I'm a producer by heart.
Good morning. Welcome to Community Voice.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm
Yeah.
I'm Keith Parris. Not that it matters to anyone, because Michelle is back. At least they didn't call my program talk about how much they miss Michelle.
Still
man.
early in your program.
You know what?
Thank you, Debo. Appreciate you, man. As always,
Yeah,
just
Debo.
just always bringing clarity and context. I always appreciate that in you, bro. Thank you, man,
Yeah,
for
Is that what you really want
Certainly
to say?
welcome.
I don't think that's what you really want to say.
what?
In your thinking of Debo
No,
about bringing clarity. I don't think that's what you really wanted to say.
you know, and asked. Thank you, Michelle, for defending me. I didn't volunteer for it. I was asked to do it.
Last minute,
and
unexpected.
I've learned after all these years of knowing Michelle just how to deal with Michelle. And so,
Wait, what?
yeah,
How?
see,
Wait,
I know how to,
what?
How,
let me help you out, Jermaine.
how to deal with Michelle?
Yeah, see what happens. Michelle always come hard.
Oh yeah.
Michelle don't know soft. She just
yeah.
know hard.
What?
Yeah.
She just know hard.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it
No,
just,
that's true.
What
even
are we saying?
when she,
How did this take
even-
this turn?
even when she tries to be soft, it's still hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she
Oh
punched
my
my
God.
she punched my liver out my body.
So
on
she called-
accident.
She called me. I think she didn't text me. She called me to cover, and she asked me would I do it, and I said yes. And I can hear this pregnant pause.
Because it's never that simple.
It's something
You
coming
always
up.
got to
See,
talk
that's what you
crazy.
do. That's what you do.
No, because
That
you
is
always
expecting
say
me to
something
talk
slick.
slick. And then she said, "You need anything?" No, I'm good.
So in her head, she like, something ain't right.
Right. She ready to come with it. She coming hard. So
I am so mad.
the
At
Bible
this
says
version
that
of
a
the story.
what is it that a
The
soft
Bible
word
says.
Oh yeah.
turns away wrath.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the word.
You couldn't breathe if you couldn't say something slick. You couldn't even.
But look at the discipline.
Yeah.
Look at the discipline.
I've come too far
Yes.
to turn around now.
Yeah.
You know what all this co-signing you do? See me out in the hallway.
That was an interesting song you chose. Why did you choose that particular song?
You know what? I was singing it yesterday because I had just talked to so many people who just had crazy stuff going on. And like the upbeat version of that song, you know, like I literally turned around a situation singing that song yesterday with some people. And then you can see the look on their face and the tension lightened,
Yeah.
you know. So I just think that
Timothy Wright, right?
Yep, Timothy Wright.
we got to find ways to deal with what we seeing, and not get mired down.
But
in
that's
the
a
crazy.
prime example of the scripture that you just used. She used the song to turn the situation around.
Mm.
So it was a soft.
You know what? See, you see it
Yeah,
being
I
funny.
know,
You
I
see,
know.
you
Come,
see it?
come on and
You
give me
see,
an
I
offering,
told
Doc.
you.
I got
I told
Debo.
you.
I
I
got
told you.
Debo.
He don't know how to do
He
it.
said,
I say to myself
Sarcasm.
with my clergy brothers and sisters, when you have that title that people go like,
Yeah.
you better have a message.
So you better have that word,
right, because the way they be like, ooh, and then I was telling Jermaine, I never hear this. Help us,
Help us, Lord.
help us.
I want to be clear. I hear that in my who? Oh, somebody spelled your name wrong. I said Keith. K-I-E.
That was me.
No, you didn't.
I
Oh, you
was
wrote
asleep.
that?
Yeah, I was asleep.
Really? You spelled his name K-I-E?
The level,
That time I did.
the level of concern.
Yeah, you're right. Jesus.
But you know, my mother spelled my name that way for many years.
K-I-E?
Because of the rule. I before
I
E,
always thought it was
except
K-I-E.
after
After
C,
C.
except with proper names.
So, wait, I always
So
thought
she
it
spelled it like that for real.
Man,
was K-I-E.
It
And I
ain't
was
like that on your
spelling
birth certificate, is it?
no.
I was led by the spirit of Miss Cliffy right there.
Yeah,
I
you was
spelled it
led
the way
by the
she
slumber
would've spelled
You gonna
spirit.
blame that on Miss
That was the
Cliffy?
slumber
Yeah.
spirit.
Thank you. What you
That's
call
what
it?
they were. The slumber. The
So
slumber
you're always
spirit.
ready, aren't you?
Hey, man, I
Providence
keep one in
Baptist.
the chamber.
Providence bedside.
Right. Bring you greetings from.
Did you sit in the rocking chairs at the airport?
So I didn't sit in them, but they are super cool. Every time, and I hate to bash our airport, I do, but the lack of creativity in the Milwaukee airport is just disheartening. In North Carolina, they have these amazing little white rocking chairs, and they have a little table on the side, and they got trees planted.
Yeah.
So it feel like you're sitting on your porch.
Yeah.
And then everybody zoom for the chairs. You have to like elbow old people out the way to get one. And they just rock and wait and
It seemed
congregate.
like every time we flew through there, was that the Coca-Cola 600?
Oh,
the
yeah.
auto race.
Oh yeah.
And they
Because
get,
NASCAR and stuff
yeah,
is
yeah,
down there.
get 600,000 people for that.
Yeah.
Aren't they headquartered?
Yeah, NASCAR.
Yeah, they're headquartered in that.
And the NASCAR museum is connected to the convention center. You literally don't even have to walk outside to visit it. But the other thing I kind of smiled at, two things. So they got all the food in the food court. So Keisha saw Chick-fil-A and, did her beeline to Chick-fil-A. When we get over there, it's like 300 people in line to go to Chick-fil-A. But here is regional food, barbecue, brisket, all this amazing food. Nobody in line for.
Jesus.
And I'm like, how are you in another part of the country and want to eat the same thing you eat at home every day?
Well, let me shout out in a very negative way, Atlanta Hartfield-Jackson Airport.
Why?
I have yet to be able to get Bojangles chicken.
You ain't missing nothing.
Either because the lines are long
You're not
or the
missing.
service.
But they
is
had Bojangles.
awful.
The Bojangles was lit up at the convention center. They had
But
a Bojangles in the convention center.
It's not what people think.
I mean, it wasn't bad. I done had Bojangles plenty of times. I'm just waiting now. Them little biscuits with the honey be popping though.
But Church's chicken biscuits was the best
I'm not
anyway.
ever eating churches ever.
Oh
again.
man, you know what
Not
made churches also great? Crinkle fries.
Crinkle fries. Man, they had the crinkle
Keep
fries.
telling y'all Brown's chicken, man. Brown's
No,
chicken.
I'm talking about the
Who
churches
is
back in the
Brown's?
day.
Where they
I'm
at?
talking about the church's chicken that was back
Yeah,
in the
back
day.
the old church's chicken used to be the pop.
Yeah,
It
that
used to
was
be
the-
so.
man,
Brown's
that was
My
chicken is
grandfather ate it all the time.
in Chicago. You can get it. Brown's is pretty popular over there.
More popular than Harold's.
Oh yeah, the Harold is
Yeah.
almost like
This-
JJ's now.
It's a national chain.
Harold's
Brown's
is-
is.
I-
I ain't
Brown's
gonna
is
say
a
national.
national
I didn't like
get
it.
with
More-
Harold's
more-
was that
more cities.
good.
Yeah. I mean, as soon
I've
as
never heard
everybody
of
was
it.
like Harold's chicken,
Because Harold's chicken in Chicago.
man,
is
I
good.
drove all the way down to Chicago on a
Really?
Saturday.
They was here for a
Yeah.
hot minute.
I'm
It
talking
did
about
seem
before
the
they
same.
came here, when everybody was going to Chicago.
Well, you know why it doesn't seem the same? Because when you're in the environment of that place, that also feeds into your mentality about the place
and
when
it's
you're
a
there.
small joint.
I remember my mom, she went to see Francine was in Arkansas, and so she flew Southwest. And so I picked her up. That's what's the Midway.
Mm.
So coming back, she wanted to go to JJ. She had never been to JJ's Chicken, and at that point they hadn't.
Yeah.
So we went to, I think, one of their original stores there, because that area
JJ.
south
Yeah,
west
JJ's
is like a Puerto
Is
Rican
what?
neighborhood.
JJ's
Is what lemon pepper seasoning
no,
is what.
no. Wait,
Even without the
JJ's
lemon pepper,
is-
that fish is good.
is really bigger than Harold's.
It's good.
JJ's is owned by who?
Habib and them.
Okay, Harold's is owned
but
by who?
Habib them know how to season that bird.
No, you Negroes just need to quit because it's black owned
Where?
places that we don't even go to and they
Where?
went out of business.
Where? That's why they.
Give me an example.
So they ran out of fish.
No, they ain't run out of fish. But just like literally, you'll have people breaking their neck to go to JJ's before they would go to Center Street.
Well, it's not that JJ's doesn't have a good product. They do have a good product.
Man, yeah, they do.
I just love that people come and figure out what we want to buy and
But
concentrate
we
in our
don't do right.
neighborhoods
If
and
we gonna be
don't
honest,
support us
we
in
don't
no
be-
other way.
no, that we don't do
They
right.
does
No.
any of the JJ's
No.
sponsor a little
Listen.
league team?
Listen.
Pay for anything?
We don't do
They
right
don't do nothing.
because you can have
The majority of the time, they weren't even hiring us at first.
you can have Lil Duro have a chicken spot on 3rd and Keith, and you got a and you got a duck. First of all, to go in there. 2, they don't have.
Little Daryl used to live next door to me.
Oh well, yeah, tell Lil Duro to open up
Lil
the
Daryl
chicken
used to
spot.
live
Man.
But you know what? Because number one, we also have to think about we don't have the buying power that these folks have when they come and open up these shops. They are able to buy in bulk. In some cases, keep folks out of markets. And so, yeah, your prices can be different, because versus a mom and pop trying to stay in business like on Center Street, and this is a whole little chain operation we got going on.
Right.
The ability to buy is different, and so ours take a little bit, and it's a struggle. But if we don't support us and keep supporting them, but we keep making them rich. But this is the thing, Shell,
and this is just my personal experience. When I go visit our people in them, you notice I say in them. When you go visit them, the service is crazy as a fool. You got the waitress that's talking to you crazy.
Not the majority of the time.
I'm just talking about my experience.
And this is why the thing.
I stopped.
Give feedback to people.
Yeah, but they don't care.
Know. You know what? I would
they
love
don't care.
To who's the manager? Who owns this joint?
They don't care.
What was the name of the place you said? What was
I
the
don't
name?
even want to say.
Well, who owns this spot?
But
so let me give you some feedback, because with this happening, I can't keep coming up in here.
I'm just gonna say it's off of King Drive.
Well, whatever it is, I'm just gonna say you got to let people know
off of King Drive
that why I'm not coming back. But I'm sorry. I'm always gonna go to us.
The service was
bad
terrible.
Service. I'm going to us.
No. What you want? No. Like what I want.
I'm going to us, and I'm gonna be like, look, and if that one don't work, I'm gonna find another one. I'm not saying I'm gonna go in and be abused.
I look at it this way.
But I will go to another one. What?
Excuse me? You better take some of that bass. What you mean? What? No, I think it really is about these folks are in business, and I think they're in business, and you have to, you might not have everything that JJ's has, but you make sure that the little bit that you have is best, because guess what? By word of mouth, people are going to say, man, I was over at
and I'm just saying, tell people though, because we'll never come back and not tell you why we didn't ever come back. Tell people, you know what? Hey, fam,
what's the
service
purpose
in here today was awful.
But what's the purpose of
and I won't be back. Bless you.
But what's the purpose of telling them? I'm sure, man, that they know, man, that they waitress or waiters that they
sometimes you don't know.
It's terrible.
I know Robert Powers don't know everything that go on in his McDonald's.
But he has heard and ain't did nothing. So what we gonna keep telling them? The same people still working there.
Obviously, you're not here on Sundays.
Sunday morning.
You're not here on Sunday morning. You could express that to him on Sunday morning.
I love
nobody opens up a business for it to fail.
No, not at all.
And a lot of us don't have a lot of even the soft skills to open some of these businesses.
Then why open them? Yeah,
because I don't know that these are not the right skills.
But I ain't wasting my money with you because you're
trying to figure it out.
You don't want to frequent the business again. As you leave, just say, "Hey, I want to give you some feedback about my experience here today. I won't be back, but let me tell you why."
So let me ask you this.
Now, some people might cuss you out.
No more.
So let me ask you this: How many times have we had the
I
conversation?
Trying to enlighten you,
no, I'm saying, how many times have we had the conversation, man, about
help us,
burnt biscuits,
help us, preacher,
burnt biscuits, burnt sandwiches? We've had the conversations, right?
Yes.
We've said something about it, right?
Yes.
How many times have our sandwich been burnt after we said something?
But this is the thing, because I do pay attention, and turnover is high. I'm a person, I go to some of the same places every morning, same time. People know me.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? They know as soon as they see me, or they hear my voice over the thing, not because of this radio station or anything, but because I come every morning. Right. They know me.
Right.
You getting your usual? Yep, I am. They ring it up, I come around. So what I have been noticing is significant turnover.
Yeah, but we was just down the street the other day.
And then it's a whole new staff that's being trained today.
Yeah, but these people know me.
Again,
these people know us.
They don't give a damn about you.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing.
And your egg and
I
brown.
don't want to be like the danger here is we can be pejorative, and we really shouldn't.
Can you use the word that everybody knows what you're talking about?
They know this word because I've been using it for the last 6 years.
Can you use this? Some new people.
Excuse me, my program. Anyway,
stand up for yourself.
Yeah, but we do this broad brush of negativity, and so I'm trying to avoid that. But I still, my attitude though is that if you go into business, you need to understand that there's certain things that will keep you in business. Now there's some things that's out of your control, right? If you open up a business and then you was wondering why you're getting the rent so cheap because the city or the state's going to come through and do the road in front of your building, which is going to impact your business. I'm just you know,
I just also
We
think
should- we should
harder
start a
on
segment.
our folks
We should start a
because.
segment where we secret shop and we come back and we
Oh,
get
'cause I
we
can tell
grade
you.
them.
But this
Doc,
is the
I
thing,
can tell
though.
you.
It's not like you haven't gone to a white restaurant and had a bad
that's true.
experience.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
I didn't
people
go back. I
Yeah.
don't go
But a
back.
lot of people do.
I don't go
I
back.
don't.
They show people a different kind of grace than they show their own.
No, I don't go back.
No. That's just like the when, man,
Oh,
when I
just
was
so-
downtown on Water Street and I came in.
You know,
the next day
because
talking
Michelle
about-
is exhausting
it's-
being black.
Yeah.
It's the only
But
thing
I can
about
tell
being
you, I
black
can
that-
I can tell y'all a scenario. I know of. Jermaine called back and said, "Hey, I didn't. You shorted me a couple wings or something." Well, the manager says, "Well, when you're in,
Yeah.
let me know, and I'm going to take care of you." And oftentimes we don't get that when we go to establishments that.
Because usually you
Yeah.
ain't talking to the
Real talk.
managers, you talking to, or you know, you're not talking to the owners, you're talking to their staff. But if you talk, nobody goes in business to fail. Nobody, these people are not buying all this equipment, buying this food to not be able to sell it. So if you actually talking to the people whose money is on the line, those
Mhm.
people typically will respond in the way
But
we're
I think
saying.
the
Their staff, though.
the atmosphere and the landscape has changed. Part of why we even have black businesses was because white businesses wouldn't serve us.
Yeah.
And that we're talking primarily our hair, we're talking about burying us. And so out of necessity, we create black business.
No, that was definitely the
Okay,
overwhelming part of it.
Can we move forward?
But we also wanted our own. We wanted to support
Okay,
each
so
other.
you have our own. But at the
Recycle
same
money in our own
time,
community.
business
It wasn't just
is
because white folks didn't let us
but-
come to their stuff.
but business is business. Now, let me tell you somebody who clearly understood the whole business principle. Drug dealers
Oh yeah.
Drug dealers
Yeah.
clearly understand
Yeah.
there's some business principles going on
Yeah.
here, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Part of it is
My God, Jesus. And I know I have said this to you before.
I'm looking.
You
I'm
did
looking.
not want to use drug dealers as an example of business excellence
Yes.
in the black
No,
community.
actually,
Oh my God.
any community.
Oh my God.
yeah. It's just a.
Okay, I
Are you
guess
talking
the
about Lester
overall-
Carter, legal drug?
Oh my God.
No, man.
Lester
We talk
Carter?
about
If
That's
you-
just like people saying,
street pharmacy.
if you want to talk about black kids can't do math, look at these
you,
drug
First
dealers.
of all, Michelle,
I don't know how to cut up a kilo.
Michelle,
We
respectfully,
cannot use this
Michelle,
as examples of
Michelle,
excellence.
respectfully, Michelle.
Actually, drug dealers are
I'm,
really.
I'm not using that. I'm not using that as this is something that people.
You're not
should-
being pejorative, are you?
No, I'm not saying that this is anything that people should aspire to. All I'm saying
There were
is,
tons of examples we could give.
what I'm saying is, when you
Oh my
look at,
God.
if you looked at people, there is not a moral piece that I'm putting on this. All I'm saying is that if you go to business school, they might start talking to you about narco dollars, right? Whether you do it or not, it's still an example of people doing the business principles. This is how we make it work. They
So
understand
many other
that.
examples. So many other examples.
Well,
So many.
see,
other
well, in the way,
examples.
I can kind of understand what Keith
Really?
is saying because,
Mm,
to be honest with you,
mm.
and I'm gonna put a little spin on this. Drug dealers are really smarter than what people think they are because
Oh my
you.
God.
Hold
Y'all
on. I'm
just
just
gave me the
I'm just putting a
example
spin.
of
Hold
our
on.
I'm
just putting a
intelligence.
spin
it's
on
not
it.
the example. It's
Right.
a
It's
example.
But
example.
don't
I'm just
get to
putting a
this
spin
one
on it.
before you get to the real ones.
We were talking about the real ones.
No, you was
And
talking
we were just
about
talking about
bad
how they were
businesses.
suffering.
But when you have businesses that were started by black people like Johnson & Johnson Publishing, like what Malone Sausage has done down there, what the Perkins family did for a number of years, what Lena's grocery store did for a number of years. Like, come on, y'all. It's other examples to give of when a black business works.
It's one of the examples, Michelle.
But you can't lead with the drug dealer.
I didn't lead with the drug dealer. I
Yeah,
gave an example.
that was what you led with. You gave
No, I
the,
didn't lead.
you
No,
gave the
we were
examples of
talking.
the bad businesses, and then when you said, "But here is a
All right,
good
then. What I'll do then?
understands
I'll move it
customer
down. I'll
service,
move it down to
drug
number.
dealing."
I'll move it down to number 5. Okay, that make you happy? I'll move it down to number
my
5.
God. Well, put something in front of it. Then. We got tons of examples of black folks who have done business well.
Okay,
Where they at?
but we should also acknowledge
Oh my God, Jesus.
that even though it was a negative, that at the same time they were efficient.
Yeah.
The business model.
You're not going to get an argument on that.
That's all
I'm
the point.
just
That's the
saying-
only point I'm
Because-
making.
No, I'm saying let's not lead with that.
She's like, she gave me the finger.
Let's not lead with that.
She gave me the finger. She's like,
I had time for you niggas.
She gave the finger.
Put your finger up. You leaving, dude. Number one, you leaving church now.
She's like, How did you even get to that? I don't know. I don't know, but you got some college, doctor.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
You should have did Maze.
Oh, I started to.
Call welcome to the program.
Hey, good morning. She left out of the
Uh-oh.
every time, just like when she made the statement
Take
about
us off
history,
speakers,
okay,
Lee.
hold on. So just like when she made the statement about our history, and I came to the studio because she's cut me off to bring us some history. But listen, she was talking about going to get some food every morning. I had to call in as a warning because, listen, man, the stuff that we do fooling around on this radio, even me, I'm not even a part of the establishment over there, but I understand that I am a activist, a radio activist. And she talking about she go there and she's predictable, and how the staff is turning over. You go in there and get some bad food, man, get something that you don't want. Anytime these people, listen, what we do, regardless of what side you on, is a serious, dangerous job. And you cannot be predictable. Going to get your little biscuit every morning, that might be your last biscuit, or the biscuit that
you that Michelle?
Steal in the future. We cannot be predictable in our moves. Al Sharpton, do you think he predictable? Do you think Donald Trump is predictable? He's allowed to stop. Get that McDonald's right there, okay? Because you cannot be predictable. When you're being predicted, you are setting yourself up for long-term illness, even going to the dentist.
First of all, the word is predictable, and second of all,
predictable.
I can be predictable.
You know, I'm sitting here shooting some good game. You know what? You
love
won't
me.
take you won't take nothing that I give you.
I'm
You won't
safe
take nothing.
anywhere I want to go in the hood. I don't have them problems. Thank you.
Okay, guess what? I'm glad you feel comfortable, but players like
Michelle
me,
Bryant and
they don't feel so comfortable. They don't feel so comfortable. So you go on and do what you got to do. You sawing. I'm sick of you. You always I'm trying to save your life, and here you is trying to fight me.
All right, man.
You going down there to them places, man. Them places will hurt you, and then you got turnovers. Somebody, well, she comes here every morning. Hey, digger, you got a new guy in there cooking food. Oh, I'll take care. I got her. We got to be careful what we doing here. Anyway, the history deal, I still got something to show you. I got something else to show you. And I got to bring Debo and my man something. And just let me know when I can drop in, and I'll drop it off to you guys. And I want preferably when she's in the studio.
All right. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning. Good morning.
This really don't have anything to do with the conversation that y'all talking about, but I'm very frustrated, and I know it just can't be me. Are you guys getting just like millions of calls every day? My phone is just like scam calls. I've been up since 6. I bet you I got 10 calls this morning. When you answer I don't even answer the phone no more. I just see if they're going to go to. So I wonder if it's just me.
No. It's me too, man.
We've sold our names and numbers
without.
Well, we gave permission to be able to sell our information without even knowing. You know, a lot of times people talk about those cookies and privacy.
Yeah.
There's some websites that will ask you specifically, can we sell your information? There are people like I could be on the donor list for the Democratic Party, and then they're selling my name and information to another group. That's how.
But Keith, they ain't even saying that. When I say hello, they're not even saying anything.
Yeah, man.
And then this one keeps coming from Donald Trump about Medicare or something.
Yeah,
but
man.
most of the time they're not even saying anything. They just, I'm just hello. They're not even saying anything.
Well,
it's
you can look
happening
at
on my
the
cell
phone
phone
number
and my regular house phone.
Well, you can look at the phone number too, man. And if it's something like a, like a 399
but the
number,
telemarketers got smart. Instead of using 800,
yeah. They use like a regular.
Yeah.
But you can still tell because it don't look like a real number. So you'll see something like a 266 or something like a
what kind
69.
of phone? What kind of phone do you have? Who?
I'm on my cell phone now.
No. Do you Samsung,
iPhone?
My cell phone is is an Android.
Right.
Yeah.
See,
It's
like
a Samsung, but
with
I
my
just got the regular house phone
with
too.
my Apple, if people have iPhones,
Yeah.
their name comes over
Yeah.
as a contact,
Yeah.
right? Because we're kind of in that Apple network.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, 'cause I'm just like, man, this is ridiculous, man. I said I'm gonna count. Now listen, it's doing it right now.
Yeah, man. They listening, man. They listening.
You just got to be.
It's
But what I'm getting
ridiculous,
ready to do
man.
though is I'm getting ready to get this service where you can go through and see everything that you've done for apps.
Oh
See
yeah,
what you're
yeah,
using,
yeah,
not
yeah,
using,
yeah,
and
yeah.
purge all
Yeah,
of that
purge it, yeah,
and get that out.
yeah.
That's part of the digital age that we live in.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, a lot of times they've just sold your name to another group with your
And,
information.
and I got to get off because I ain't said nothing about him in a while. But I know Mr. Tough Guy that be trying to sit up and talk about calling somebody scary, talking about not going someplace. And Keith, let me just say
Hey,
this.
George, there's a listener who texted my phone and said it doesn't look like a real number. First of all, that should be the first indication.
Yeah.
And then second,
Oh no, it becomes a 414 and
Yeah,
262 and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. It'll be 414 and then like 979 or something like that, or
Mhm.
like,
So then
like
she
something
says,
crazy.
tell him to give him 2 hellos and hang up. Don't stay on the phone
Man, don't even
less
answer.
than 30 seconds.
Don't even answer.
Well, my phone will say either spam or telemarketer.
Yeah,
but
sometimes
now,
it'll say
man, but now,
spam.
though, now they're using numbers.
But,
Because mine
Keith,
used to say that.
I want to tell you something.
Yeah.
Don't let your moral values get. What he's trying to do is he's trying to get you to condemn Al to hell.
Oh. Oh.
Everybody. We all sinners.
Oh.
I don't care if you repent. You better repent every day. But we all sinners, Keith. We all sinners. We sin every day, all of us. And so, yes, we got to repent, but don't let that dude try and condemn you to hell like he told me. He didn't. He told over here, I'm talking about I'm going to hell, and he said you going to hell. He might be going to hell. All of us might be going to hell.
No, sir, you going by yourself. I ain't going.
Well,
No,
you're
sir.
gonna be raptured.
Right. Caught up to meet him.
Yeah.
You heard what
Please
Curtis
don't start.
You heard what Curtis Mayfield said, bro. Just try to live your best life and do the right thing by people.
Yeah.
Hey man. Hey, I'll talk to y'all later.
All
Hey,
right,
man.
Yeah,
The offering time, Doc.
man.
Close the door.
You're listening to Community Voice. There will not be a Be Healthy Be You. So phone lines open. Talk about what's ever on your
We
mind.
could still
this morning.
talk health and
Sure.
No, we can just raise an offering that time, man.
no, this dude is
We'll take a
always
break
not often.
and we'll figure out in our production meeting what we're gonna do when we get back. We'll be right back.
Sophie 86 FM with your host, Keith Parris.
All right, welcome back. And let me make this quick announcement. We linking up. This is a Black Men Build and Grinding to Glory, and it's a linking up to push presence and peace. That'll be today at 6 p.m., 925 West Burleigh. This is sponsored by Black Men Build, Grinding to Glory. So we have Milwaukee County Department of Health and Human Services, Empower. Is that Mike? No, the Mental Health America, Peace Milwaukee, and Empower. So be 6 o'clock there, and they want as many brothers as possible to show up to be part of that piece. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mr. Parris. Thank you for taking my call. Assalamu alaikum to you, brothers.
All right,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was listening to the last call about the crappy phone calls. I get them all the time, except for like I have like two phones. One is like for work, and one is for not for work. So on my not for work phone, I got these codes off of Instagram that you can use to like clear your phone out. And then on other phone, I use that. But here's the thing for me, and I have fun doing it. So I don't know, maybe people won't do it, but I don't mind it. Because I grew up in a household where sometimes when people call your house phone, you don't know them, they get upset, and then they start speaking a different language. So when they call and they talking about Medicare, I'm like, I don't even qualify for Medicare. I don't even know what Medicare is. What are you talking about? I barely can get a Medicaid or Badgecare or whatever they're talking about. So let me see who this is that's calling my phone all the time. So I'll wait, and I was like, yes, I get that. I qualify. It's going to give me all the money. Yes. And then when the people come on, and it's like a Chinaman or Asian man, Asian woman, or sometimes it's a black person or a white lady. This white lady, I got her so good. She cussed back at me. I said, see, I knew you was phony. What I do, here it is. I'll take it or leave it. But why don't you just like engage them and see, because if they think you stupid, they think you're gonna give out all your personal effects so they can access your bank account or whatever kind of account you might have and clean you out. Why don't you just be like your grandmama or your mama and them? When people kept calling their phone, they didn't know who the hell they was. They sat on the phone and cussed their ass out until they couldn't take it no more. And then they'll stop calling, because that's exactly what I do. So you know what? Every time I listen to them and I let them come on and I say something really, really vulgar to them, then I'm like, okay, the phone call stopped. Then they start up maybe 2 days later or a week later or something like that. But I'm not scared of them. I don't care about where you at in some basement playing with whatever you playing with. You're not going to get nothing from me. You stupid in the first place. You dumb. You're using all your intelligence to scam people who probably ain't got nothing in the first place. And then you're going to go your ass to jail, because after I get to cussing you out, you're going to wish you was in jail. You dig?
You mean the way you keep cussing on the radio this morning? Like,
I got carried away.
Yeah.
I apologize. Thank you.
I appreciate you. My virgin ears. 414-444-5250. 414-444-5250. I say this, and I'd love just join and be part of the conversation. When you hear that perception is reality, I try not to be an alarmist, and the sky is falling. I try to put things in context, either historical context or social context. But there's people feeling all kind of way about currently what's happening, in the city. And I don't know how much of that that's just living in a city. I don't know if this is here's another big word, aberration, a blip, or this is something that is showing that this is going to be a trend going forward in terms of what we see, particularly when it comes to violence, right? I worry now when my wife leaves the house that she could be a victim of a crime in terms of people out either recklessly driving or trying to get away from the police, and then here you are, the innocent person, innocent bystander, the innocent driver that is hit by someone who is so more concerned about themselves and don't have any sense of social responsibility in terms of their behavior. So I'm just wondering, what do you think the problem is? Is it young people? Is it lack of God? Or is there a problem? 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250, because we have these conversations. I think it's important. I think to hear what people think and what they feel. But when you think about Milwaukee, how do you think about Milwaukee? Some of us have been here all our lives, and so we have a perspective that's different than maybe somebody who just got here, or maybe a younger person who does not have that history. What do you think is driving it? I'm in terms of the behavior. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Good morning, Keith. This is Angela. How are you?
I'm all right.
That's good. Well, listen, I've been in Milwaukee all my life, and I just think it might be the perspective on how these children are being brought up, because they wasn't raised like we were raised. I'm in the era of the 60s, so, it's just time has changed, and a lot of things have changed. Milwaukee ain't the same. It'll never be like it used to be. But it used to be where we could walk the streets and not worry about anyone or anything. Running up on the sidewalk, shitting us with a car, or someone jumping out the bushes at us, or snatching us, or doing this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? The times have changed. Milwaukee used to be a beautiful place to live. It still is. To me, I'm not going anywhere. I don't have a problem with. I have a problem with the way things are today, but I'm from Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee, but things are just not the way they used to be when I was growing up. We used to be able to go outside and play. Kids can't do that today. And that really bothers me, because I have grandchildren, that I have to worry about. It's messed up. It really is. Them ain't the words I want to use, but them words I'm going to use. But, it's just like, wow, really?
All right.
Come on.
All right. Appreciate you.
Yep.
All right. You got another caller? No. Okay. 414-444-5250. Should we expect the city to be the same city that many of us grew up in? I think I won't do a lot of commentary. I'll just listen. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Yeah, I don't think the city can go back to what it used to be. It can be better, because it ain't no going back, because some of this generation is too disbobulated in their head. Number one, they got to stop smoking all that devil dust and messing with all that weed that got them smelling like booty crack and armpits. That's what they need to do. And also, they need to start raising their kids. The problem is they want to sit up there at school all night, walk around here drunk with their eyes red as the devil falling all into the walls, and their kids seeing all that buffoonery. Or they want to sit up there and walk down the street fighting and all that 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then by 9 o'clock, oh, daddy, nobody won't hear all that. All they need to do is learn how to raise their kids. And they keep using this stuff. Police raised my house. No, police ain't raising your house. You just lazy. And if you don't want to raise your kid, hell, it's free to swallow. Automatic abortion. And you don't got to worry about no damn stretch marks.
All right. Appreciate you, man.
Have a good day.
All right.
Wow.
Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning, young people.
Good morning.
Well, one thing we have out here is their common sense is really not common anymore. But one thing I say is that yes, the parents really need to start standing up, being more parents instead of being friends with their children and smoking marijuana with their children and partying. And I see that I had a young lady come to me, her son, and hit one of my customer cars, and so I seen him go up the alley. I was getting ready to go up the way and check the scene out, see what's going on, but they end up coming back to me. And she decided, okay, we're going to take care of the damage. And so the next week they come. She probably looked to be about 7, 8 months pregnant at the time. They get out the car. He's smoking. He got a big blunt in his mouth. She's pregnant. This her son. He was 17. And I'm like, I said, what's wrong with this picture? I asked her that question. I said, what's wrong with this picture? And she said this. I said, this your son? She said, yes. She said, I'd rather him smoke around me. I said, automatically, you've lost so many cool points and respect from your child. You don't want him smoking with his friends. You don't mind him smoking. You're going to let him smoke around you, and then you're friends. I said, something is wrong with this picture. I said, number one, young man, you ever come in my presence, don't ever bring that mess to me. I said, because automatically I don't want to deal with you. I said, it's a turn off. I said, you young lady, you allow them to disrespect. So this is why our children are is the way they is today. So the thing here is that parents got to stand up and be more. They need more guidance. The parents do. It was once upon a time they said, I'm not forcing my children to go to church. But then you force them to go to this public school to teach them that Christopher Columbus discovered America when we was here 10,000 years before you even got here. They'll sit there and lie to you about your history and who you really are. But then you don't want to send them to church and let them get an understanding of who God is, so that when they do get in the hard place, they'll know how to pray. They'll know how to deal with the issues of life. If they got into the book of Proverbs, 31 chapters, I just read that, once a day for 31 days, it will give them a place in their mind, at least give them enough sense to say, I can help deal with this issue within myself because I can hear the Spirit speaking to me. It's too loud out here, y'all. It's too loud. There's not enough peace. And we're not teaching our children to be peaceful anymore. So much rah-rah. God bless you guys.
414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Keith. Good morning, Debo. Good morning, Jermaine.
Yes, sir.
Morning.
Hey, I'm a lifelong resident of the city of Milwaukee. I love this city. I only hear about the things that's happening in this city on the news. I do not encounter the negative things, and thank God my family doesn't either. I think it has a lot to do with where we go, who we hang out with, who we invite to our houses, and so on. And the way that some of these parents are raising their children has a great effect on the city in regards to the language that's used in the house, the drugs that are used in the house, a lack of respect for children in regards to involving them in adult conversations, and just having a negative, outlook on people in my family and with the 2 sons that I raised. No profanity in the household. Respect for the children, and of course the children must respect the adults in my household. Positive things are always discussed, and we have to show our children what what we want them to know. We got to take them places. We have to expose them to things. We have to most definitely be involved deeply in their education. When a child comes into the world, put yourself second, put the child first. Give the child the best that they could possibly get, because when they become adults, they're going to be outstanding citizens like most of the people in Milwaukee. Thank you.
We're putting a lot on young people. And it's interesting when I heard T and Al, they talk about how you raise your kids. I work with a program where we go in and we teach fathers parenting skills, because either you parent the way you were parented, or you grew up in an environment where the parents had challenges. I don't know. We say it's the parents. I think it's the parents, but there were some of us. Truth be told, parents took us to church every Sunday and made a left turn. So I think that there's some value in it. There may or may not be value in it if we're looking at, let's just say, church. Depending on the environment that you might find yourself in, it could probably do more harm than good. But I think, I don't know, you guys help me with this, because...
Well, I mean, Keith, I'm going to be honest, man. I'm just going to use my situation as an example. I was raised in the church, grew up in the church, but when I got older, I chose to go left. I chose to see what the streets was about and everything, and that they was telling me to stay away from. And it has helped me on both sides of the spectrum, just knowing the church world and knowing the streets. One thing that I can say is that I'm grateful that I had that church upbringing and had that seed planted in me, because when I was out in the streets and I was doing foolish things, I kept hearing in the back of my mind the words and the teaching from my parents, which even though I was doing wrong, you can still hear, hey, man, do you know you're not supposed to be doing it? You know what you're supposed to be doing. And I still chose to go left. But I had that conscience speaking to me that after a while, when I was able to sit down, I was able to really listen and hear that conscious seed that was planted in me. And when it started to speak to me, I started to realize what I was doing, and that seed that was planted, it started to grow into who I am now.
How would you know the truth in what you were taught unless you had the experience?
Exactly.
And so I'm not, like, I'm tripping if I go to a church and I see like 19, 20, 21-year-olds. Part of me is saying, why are you even here? Right? And then people go, well, they should know, because you need to live some life. For the Amish people, that term wilding, you heard back during the Central Park 5, they talked about wilding. There's a German word that they use for it among the Amish. And you have 2 years to do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. Expose to electronic devices, because they're saying that when you decide that you're going to join the Amish community, at least you had this, the world, and then you had the community.
And then
here's the other thing I was going to ask you: how much of that stuff that we were taught that we learned later turned out to find out wasn't right necessarily?
Well, the type of stuff, like, okay, I'm gonna use as an example. When the scriptures say, "Marvel not," right? The saints of old thought it was saying not to play marbles, so you can't play marbles. It's a sin to play marbles. Well, obviously, the stuff that was taught to the saints of old, they didn't go back and research for themselves. They didn't really apply the scripture to study to show yourself, because if you would have studied to show yourself, you would realize some of the stuff that they was talking.
People were discouraged. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No,
they
that's
were.
true.
they were discouraged. And I can only, if I look at it again from that lens, that lane of faith-based organizations and primarily the church. Obviously, I've had some training, so in order for me to get up and preach, there should be some academics there, but that was pushed back. And then again, how the Bible has an outsized influence, particularly in the Black community. A lot of that, goes back to enslavement. I think a lot of that certainly was enslavement, and our reliance on something beyond this world, because this world was just so difficult. So when you hear people talking about wanting to go to heaven, that's because earth has been so difficult for a lot of people, right? And so I know I've had people who they talk about heaven and hell, and how we want to see people punished for their behavior. But there's things that I was taught that I disagree with now. I think it was wrong. I didn't have an understanding of it. Certainly when it came around to the issue of sexuality, I think I disagree with some of the teachings of the church. And hear what I say again. I disagree with that teaching. I have just my lived experience has showed me something else in terms of how we view people and how we even deal around the issues of sexuality and sex. And so
quick question, Keith.
Yeah.
Do you disagree with how they was teaching it, or where they got the information from?
I think the emphasis, because obviously there are prohibitions in the Bible when it comes to same-sex relationships.
Yeah.
That's in the Bible.
Right.
But that, I'm not going to use the word right, because there's some people, there's nothing wrong in the Bible. And if you're walking around with that mentality, you're really in trouble. That is not true. The Bible has errors. That is because human beings did it. We believe it's the inspired word of God. There is a movement. Fundamentalism says it's the unerred word of God. That's a problem, because human beings do it and there are going to be errors. There's just errors in translation. Just started that little piece where a word that was used in Aramaic then being translated to Hebrew, Greek, Latin, English. You're trying to find the appropriate word in that language to try to capture what was said in Aramaic. You're going to have errors. So what you're looking for, that's what I'm looking for, is essential truth. Essential truth. I throw that term out there. You guys can put essential truth. What is the truth that I get from that I can then apply to my life? All right. Now we've opened that can of worms. Callers, I see you. Yeah. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Parris.
All right, welcome back. I was talking to my buddy, and he says from time to time he tunes in watches on YouTube, and he was saying that he could see my expressions. He said, especially when Meech called, you could just now. Prior to this, we didn't have any video that we were, putting out into the out in the public, and so you couldn't see what my reactions would be. But sometimes, your reactions, they catch it, and it's just like,
Yeah, it speaks.
Yeah. That kind of getting back to, though, I think one of the things when I'm like 14, 15, even though I had friends who were Pentecostal, apostolic, we were more exposed to that. And I think it gave me an incredible understanding of where people are. People are attracted to religion and God because they're looking for answers. That for some, they're looking for answers. For others, it's their social obligation. That ain't a bad thing. I should be affiliated with a church. In Skip Gates's book, The Black Church, there's this thing that, and I think it's still important for many of us, it's called respectability, right? And you heard the brothers call in talking about how they didn't tolerate any disrespect, from young people. And so I think we want to look respectable for many of us, but we're also pushing up against modernity, and we're a less formal society than we have been. We used to have to say yes, sir, or yes, ma'am. Now it's just yes or no, right? We put the ma'am on, we put the sir on, but it was never nah, it was never yeah. It was always yes, sir. So the level of respect that that is taught to young people, because this thing, when is it appropriate? Like I used Kid Keon. I said, I cuss on 10th and 12th Street. I'd never cuss on 11th Street because Carrie Miles lived on that block, and she heard that. Guess who she calling?
Your mama?
Calling my mama. Caller, welcome to the program.
What's going on, brother?
What's happening, bro?
So let me tell you, I got two things. You talking about going back in the day, right? You talking about the neighborhoods?
Yep.
But we went to school, high school. You go to all them schools for so many years. Since I've been living, nobody has never asked me for my high school diploma.
Yep, that's true. That is true. I've never had anybody ask me for mine either.
Any job I have, nobody never asked me for it. And they always say, you got to have this before you go to any job. I'm grown, and nobody still has ever asked me for it. Was that a scam?
Man, that's a good question, man. No, I promise. Because nobody has asked me for mine either.
Like, I didn't have plenty. Like, nobody has never asked me for it.
And
how many of those jobs did you have to test for?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, since I've been here in Arizona, I don't get tested.
But I'm just saying,
I don't get tested, and they don't test for THC anymore.
No, not drug tested.
Here.
Whoa, not drug tested. Man.
Well, both. I said both. I said both.
Well, the reason why you don't do it now is that there's a demand for labor, and you're trying not to eliminate parts of your labor pool. That there was a time.
Well, that was still 10 years ago. I still didn't get tested or nothing like that.
Because there's always been this demand. Man, I graduated from college in 1979, which means I graduated into the
that was a good year.
Reagan recession. And so it was something called displacement that was going on. So that was the first time you began to see adults working full-time at McDonald's, right? Because McDonald's used to be an after-school job for kids, right? And then maybe during the day, you might have had some older folks there during the day. But then
Right.
you had where now people are going in, and this is how I'm feeding my family. This is the only job I can get. When I started at the county in 1984, we were the first class they had hired in 3 years because there'd been a hiring freeze because of the budget cuts under Reagan. So they're bringing up their staff. So there was 13 of us in that class. Only 2 people in that class did not have college degrees, a job that didn't even require a high school diploma. So what do? We displaced people who would normally work that job because it was an employer's market. And that means, so then what did they started doing? Things like drug testing, because if you drug test, you can eliminate X number of people. When you're desperate, you can walk in there as an employee or a potential employee with a syringe in your arm. They need the bodies. When can you start? You know,
Yeah,
so,
but you know that even within 10 to 12 years, all the top people I have met, and I asked them, I'm talking about top master engineers where they're running chillers, they're running this, they're running that. But guess what? They ain't got no college background, no high school diploma. All they got is their resume, how much experience they got. But nobody has never asked them for their diploma.
because you know what education does? Education tells an employer that you're educable, that you're trainable, right? That you've gone through situations and you've learned. That's all it's saying. Now, unless you be very particular, like if you're going into medicine or you're going into engineering, these are very particular, very specific vocations. But if I'm walking in just working a job, they want to know, because most people, I majored in political science. But if I go and work for the insurance company is going to train me on how to do the insurance, whatever institutional thing they got going on. So all this just showing is that you have a certain level of at least learning. I think a lot of jobs, when they're looking at your learning, your training is usually on an 8th grade level, right? It's not advanced college stuff that you might do if I take an econ class in college. No, it isn't. So all college says is that I'm educable. Very few people are even working in the fields that they graduated from college or they graduated from college in. Most people,
right? That's that thing right there. Now that is so crazy. Where you tell people to go to college, but then you let person go to college, and they ain't not even end up being. They was doing that for college for almost eight some years, and next thing you know, that ain't even what they did. That ain't even what they doing.
I heard a term I had never heard, but I used to be a college recruiter, and when you started dealing with Ivy League schools, little Ivy schools, you would hear this thing, education for its own sake. Not education for vocation, i.e. a job training, education just because you learn. That's why they tell people if you want to go to law school, you don't have to major in political science. Get a liberal arts degree, right? Because it's about exposure, it's about learning. But there are people who are chemists, people who are mathematicians. That's very specific. That's very different, you know, as opposed to someone like me who would be in the humanities, you know, political science or English or some sociology. Those things are it's so I just took the attitude, how much can I learn? And I wanted the diversity of learning.
But it still sounds like a bunch of waste of time. You put all that effort into that for you to, instead of going left, you went right and you wasted 10 years going left and you went right. And you did everything the first thing good when you went right, and it only took you a year.
Yeah, I'm not, you know, what we're getting. I think this is what you're getting from the Trump administration, right? That there's a certain anti-elitist intellectual. That's why you go after Harvard, you go after Yale. Those are the elite. They tend to be more progressive in their thinking. No, what they're appealing to is the vast majority of Americans do not have college education or college degrees. That's why when you start talking about that whole student loan, and they were helping people with student loans, and you had a significant number of the American population saying why, because they never went to college and they didn't have a student loan, and they're figuring, look, I went to the military, I went to do this, you know, and nobody helping me with my loans, you know. So that's kind of where we are. There is this divide in this country when it comes down to things like education, right? And and what it should mean. But a lot of people, man, they major in something. You had people majoring in math, but they loved art. And so they became an artist. They never even became a practicing mathematician.
Yeah, but you know what? But if you're talking like that, I'm going to say a lot of people who do math, I bet you they can draw because they know the angles and the numbers and how to figure this out.
It
and how
might,
to draw
it might
like,
enhance their art. I mean, you know, you go in, there are people who I'll do a religious thing that I know that Richard Smallwood has wrote great standards that we've used in the church. You know, what is it? What does he do? Praise? What is the perfect praise? But he went to divinity school so he could better understand scriptures when he would use them to write his songs. So a lot of times the education is going to impact. The late Dr. Trinette McCrae said, you know, Keith, when you go to divinity school, that's for you. Because trust me, if you want to see a congregation's eyes glaze over, just start talking about eisegesis and exegesis and see how quickly you lose your audience, right? That's the inside baseball. You know, what we're supposed to do is go in and just do it and apply those things, but people don't necessarily know or identify with it. But I believe in lifelong learning, man. And that's why I'm curious. That's why I love trivia so much. Because, you know, you're still learning something. You go like, oh man, I'm never going to use this until you have to.
Yeah.
The training I get at MPS in terms of how you organize things later on in life, when I was working, doing like youth and children's ministry, a lot of the things I learned at MPS in terms of organizing activities was a benefit. Now, I was just doing it because that's what they told us we had to do for in-service. Who would have known? That would be something that I can apply. I'll give another example. Back in 2008, we were doing a desktop. We were people were worried about the avian flu. So we had to go through this training through FEMA. What happens when you have a pandemic? God, who would have ever known that 12 years later we would actually have a pandemic, right?
It was bad too.
Things. I went through all the organizing piece, the staging, everything. Most of my colleagues didn't. What am I going to use it for? Well, we had something in 2008, June of 2008, known as the food stamp riot, where all these people converged on 12th and Vallee because they heard we were giving away free food stamps. Literally 5,000 people showed up on a Monday to get in the building. So now that FEMA training I got on how we stage, how we organize, how we flow people, it kicked in. So a lot of times we think it's meaningless information. Just bury it. You never know. You never know.
Before I go, since Meech be talking so crazy, man, do he know that his buddy is taking Martin Luther King statue out the White House because he don't like it?
Okay.
Why he want to back his buddy up?
Yeah. Let me say this. I don't care. Why would you even have Dr. King in there? You what is it? Just it's a profanity based on everything that you're doing that Dr. King would have to witness that. So that's good. Yeah. Move it out. That's okay. Don't want to be in that space anyway.
Okay,
as I'm speaking for the dead Dr. Martin Luther King. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Call and welcome to the program. He told me that. He wrote me a letter. Said, Keith,
hey, what's going on, brother?
What's happening, bro?
Well, the good education of youth has been esteemed by wise men in all ages as the surest foundation of happiness. Can you tell the audience who said that, Keith?
No, I cannot.
Benjamin Franklin.
All right.
A column. Go figure, a column. And that's something that maybe Brother Meach can relate to since he mentioned him.
What is that beeping?
Huh?
What's that beeping, man?
Say it one more time.
I said the beeping.
Put your seatbelt on, bro.
I stopped it.
Oh.
I was getting out of my car when I called.
Okay. What's up?
Okay. A great job of educating a person that kind of doesn't advocate for formal education.
How come when people give me compliments, I can't hear it?
Right.
Lifetime learning piece.
Hey, man, you breaking up, man.
Hold on.
You said some wonderful stuff, and we'd have missed it.
How about now?
That's better.
Okay. The lifetime learning piece that you were talking about was very educational right here on the radio. So there is no unuseful learning. I don't believe.
Mm-mm.
You know, even though you don't see it at that time, like Buddy Guy can play every instrument and music by ear, but Jermaine probably can tell you if you ever want to play with Prince, you need to know how to read music.
Yeah.
He wasn't gonna be bothered with you, and how much easier that I think Jermaine probably could help us with that. It is when people have a music theory background to perform with them.
Right.
Would I be right, Jermaine?
That's true.
Okay.
That is true.
So, you may have gifts, but I think education does enhance them, and we would want to encourage the community to be as educated as possible.
No,
Otherwise, you wind up with misinformation from somebody like Nietzsche, and you go around believing it.
Well,
You wouldn't know that Ronald Reagan cut many social programs around that time when you graduated from college, and Meach would tell you that the crime bill started all the problems in our community.
And let me say that, and here's an example of something that I benefited from that Ronald Reagan ended. My father died when I was 10. I got Social Security. So I got Social Security all 4 years in college. He ended that, right? I mean, it was because one of the things was they were trying to figure out how to save money in Social Security. So what you do is you end programming. You don't change benefit rates. You just change who's eligible for the benefit. And that's what you're seeing done now in this big, beautiful bill. They're not necessarily going to cut people off or kick them off of Medicaid. One, they're going to make it more difficult for you to apply, which means there's going to be X amount of attrition just because people don't want the headache, right? You put a work requirement on. Most people, oh man, come on, if they're disabled, and then we don't even know what that universe looks like. That's going more after that pool of people who'll be eligible for some form of Medicaid under the Affordable Care Act. So what they do in government a lot of times is you just don't end it. What you're seeing done in education, normally that doesn't happen. What you do is you just change the criteria to make the criteria more difficult for people to apply. And there's going to be X number of people, like I said, who just going to be like, dude, it ain't worth it, man.
Kind of like the way Scott Walker did with unemployment here in the country.
Exactly.
Staff and make it more difficult to just deal with the whole situation.
Yeah, because what you see, the cuts to FEMA, well, people go like, oh, that's no big deal. Let's cut the hotline. Oh, snap. Now we got an issue. And they said 20,000 calls went unanswered. Okay, see, because government, we don't want government until we need government. If you benefiting from government, we can cut your benefit. But now I feel like as a taxpayer, right, where's government when I need it? So, I mean, and there was some practical reasons why these things were in place. And so when people come in who have no institutional knowledge, have no sense of the importance or the utilitarianism of what that thing does, then it's easy to cut it, right? Until you get a flood and you get like rain that normally doesn't happen on a given day. Now we need disaster relief and it's not there. Like one of the things that people don't realize with FEMA is that FEMA does a lot of those food pantries. A lot of that is FEMA. So people kind of, but I hear you, man. I hear you.
And having qualified people in certain positions, like just because your husband is a founder of a wrestling organization, I mean, if you don't know who Ruby Bridges is, should you be in charge of education in the nation?
No.
All right. Amen. That was for me too.
All right.
God bless.
Well, Triple H seems to be doing okay.
Yeah.
You're listening to Community Voice Call. I see you. I'm going to grab you right after the break. We'll be right back.
You're inside Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM with your host, Keith Parris.
All right, welcome back. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Good evening. Good morning, Brother Keith. Listen, you talked about getting cut off of Social Security in the 80s, right? And I understand that. There was a lot of that going on, but then Congress came back and implemented Social Security and relaxed the rules for drug addicts and addicts to receive Social Security throughout the whole 80s up until Bill Clinton came in and cut it. Now, the gentleman that always called, he's a fan of mine. He follows me everywhere. I even think I heard him over on XM Radio. I was over there on Urban View, and I think I heard the dude probably, wherever I go, he follows. He's a follower. I like him. But anyway, listen, the deal is this right here. Now, I don't know if Ronald Reagan them had, because it was rumored that they had their hands in the Iran-Iraq conflict with drugs and guns. But there was once they put the hand, they made it possible for drug addicts and alcoholics that was deemed incurable, it's still deemed an incurable disease. They loosened up this Social Security benefits for all of those people that were on SSI. Now, you got to realize something, that this particular program was set in place for drug and alcohol addicts. I don't know why people always want to fight me. Why don't we do this? I'll let him pay for lunch. Why don't we get that brother that always called in? And I know that he's a novice.
What fight are you having?
Well, I'm not having a fight. The brother always calling in saying that I got bad information.
And what
My information is factual.
I don't know if that was under the Welfare Reform Act, where they went in and they changed the criteria where drug addiction and alcoholism could no longer be the primary disability. It had to be something else.
No, they cut that. They cut that.
I remember when my uncle went on. My uncle had gone on, but he was an alcoholic. But
right.
But hold on. But when he went in, because he had to go and see a psychologist, when they did the evaluation, they found out, one, he had some other physical ailments, but two, they also discovered that he had some other things going on in terms of mental things, and so then he became eligible. Okay.
Now, that was not cut out. That was cut out right away. That was cut out before the crime bill. See, all of this was systematic. That stuff was cut out. They made sure the addict and alcoholic was definitely going to need prison reform. We got some reform for you, but commit the crime, we finna lock you up. So you had your crime bill to come in place. Then after your crime bill came into place in '96, your welfare reform, where they cut off all kind of women on welfare. We talking about and kids with Medicaid. Okay, then hold on. Then they came in with the CHIPS program, because now we got to take care of these babies, and it was insurance. So black people automatically got on the bandwagon when we use the word CHIPS, insurance for our children. But it was not that kind of insurance. It was the insurance, the welfare, and safety of our children. And that's when Child Protective Service became a machine, grabbing all kind of babies, basically blacks and whites. And I don't want to hear nothing about no people of color folk, them Latinos. They don't never get their kids in the system that much. They do very few and in between. But I had to call in. And why don't you get that brother and me and him come on in? We'll pay for lunch, or he can pay for lunch. He probably won't accept my lunch. We'll let him pay for it. And we come on in and feed the WNOV South and give us about 15 minutes together. And you kind of narrate it, because I know he's a novice and he don't know what he's talking about. Most of these people,
you know how much damage you could do in 15 minutes, Meech?
Well, you give me 10 minutes then.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Let me get this next caller. You can do a whole lot of damage in 15 minutes.
Whole lot.
That's all I'll be doing. Clean up on aisle 4, clean up on aisle
5, 6, 7.
Caller, welcome to the program.
Yes, sir, Mr. Parris. I apologize for calling back, but my point, reason why I called back is because you all were talking about education, and I want our people to understand that America ranks, I believe, 26 in math and science. America has purposely dumbed down its population. It was one of the business tycoons of America said that he only wanted people to be able to work, not think. So I'm thinking, with the regard to the word education, the word is defined as the act or process of educating or being educated, the knowledge or skill obtained or developed by a learning process, a program of instruction of a specified kind or level, the field of study concerned with the pedagogy of teaching and learning, an instructive or enlightening experience. Our problem with our people, as the scripture teaches, that we perish for the lack of knowledge, not necessarily institutional knowledge, but the knowledge of self and us rejecting quintessentially that and seeking to obtain it. And when it comes to going to college, I would not dare discourage anyone who has the means, the mental capacity, or the intellectual fortitude and stability to endeavor upon and see it through successfully. Because if you are a bright, shining star, and if you have another knowledge, primarily the knowledge of self. When I entered into college, when I became engulfed into the university's system or whatnot, I had already been exposed to the knowledge of self. So when I came before my instructors, there was no way that they would be able to undo what was already imparted upon me and what had been nurtured and cultivated within me, and that I had been able to demonstrate it or apply it literally in life. And when we a society begins to poo-poo or dismiss, besmirch, belittle, diminish education, that is a hallmark sign of the complete collapse of the society. And since that is the way of this society, then we will continue to see all of the madness and the insanity that is going on out in the streets, because the people have not been prepared to even take care of themselves. At least when you have some form of an education, and if you are industrious enough and you have the means, you could probably make manifest something for your own self and change your own reality. So do not dismiss education as if it's an unworthy pursuit and a waste of time, because it definitely puts you above and beyond a lot of people, especially when they don't know what the hell they are talking about, because they've never endeavored to endure the process. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow. Wow.
You're a musician.
Yeah.
You gotta listen.
Yeah.
To other folks. I
Yeah.
mean, you that idea that I'm so self-sufficient and my genius is enough. That's great, but there are other geniuses out there too.
Yeah, if you find yourself being in a room with a bunch of people and you're the smartest one in the room, you're in the wrong room. Huh?
It's a fool in that room.
Well, yeah, for you it's some food, but
Well, definitely, if I'm the smartest one in the room, that room is in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm just
yeah.
My Aunt Matilda used to say about my mother, "You just a smart. You're just a smart." But like people would say, "Well, Keith, you're really smart." I'm not. I wish I was. There's some really smart people out there, and I find myself attracted to real smart people. I am not. Do I read a lot? Yeah, but in terms of, I always admire people, and I go like, "Wow, you," as my aunt said, "You just a smart." There was a young lady I dated in college, and literally, and I met thousands and thousands of people. She's the smartest person I ever met. I never met anybody, and I'm sure there were people out there, but her IQ was high. And for a little guy like me, I was impressed. You know, anytime somebody can cuss you out using Niebuhr, which is a German philosopher, you know they're smart. Because I was going like, I guess, oh, but I guess I'm smart. I'm not. I just learned, man. Just you pick up stuff. That's why with kids, when you see them picking up stuff, don't tell them to pick it up. That's just their curiosity, and they're trying to they're trying. I guess I get such a kick out of Kennedy because Kennedy is one of these people. She always learning something. I think she's learning something so she can talk slick. So she'll go in and she's having this conversation, and I'm looking at her going like, wow, okay, because she was notorious for looking over your shoulders when you texting and reading your text.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, she just. I was going, well,
soaking it up,
which says something about the importance of early childhood education. The earlier we expose kids to formal learning, the better these kids will be. Which in terms of books and all the things, even, people talk about their tablets, but there's information that they're getting. So it's important to have those conversations. I don't talk down the kids.
Right.
That I might use a word. You don't know what it is, look it up.
Yeah.
But to be able to expose you to more, because I heard somebody talk about, see, if you haven't been exposed, it's kind of hard to expose your children. And,
because you don't know.
Right. So you can't. So part of it is what you've been exposed to. That's why my mother, whenever there was a field trip, we were going. We were going on field trips because that's usually how you learn and the stuff that you learn. I regret that when I was on somebody else's dime traveling all up and down the East Coast, I never went to the Museum of Natural History. I never went to the Museum of Modern Art. I never went to the top of the Empire State Building. But as an adult, every time we take a vacation, there's always a geek part of the trip. Someplace we're going to go where we learn something, either about that place or we learn something about history. Excuse me, because it's fascinating, all the stuff that's out there. We just live in a world where there's so much information. So when people say, when you go to Squeeze Box, I said, but in that little bookstore, I get so many books. I'm exposed to everything from the book I bought for Keon on weed, the little book, to, Plato's Republic, and everything in between. Caller, welcome to the program.
Since we've gotten off topic and nobody really answered your question, I just want to ask you a right-out of question because I was really excited about this. You think we got a point guard now?
Yeah, Cole Anthony.
Man, I think we might finally have a point guard.
Greg Anthony's son. Yeah. He's a shooter. He's legit.
Small.
Well, he like 6'4".
Is it?
Yeah, he like 6'4".
He looks small.
Yeah. Well, your TV looks small.
Yeah, I guess that is it. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, man, and I
So
think
I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about the pickup with the center we got. I hear the bell ringing. Maybe we can talk about him earlier this week, but I'm kind of excited to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, me too, Doc.
And I'm kind of glad they kept TP and what's the other guy with the braids, the light skin?
Oh,
that fumbled the ball.
Oh, Trent. Gary
Trent. Yeah, so I'm kind of excited to see where we're going to go.
Man, I'm glad that we kept AJ Green, man.
Sharpshooter. Yep. So I'm excited.
And then Duncan Robinson just
well, he got signed to Detroit.
Who got
he
signed
got
to Detroit?
signed? He didn't get traded?
No, I don't think he got traded. No.
Duncan Robinson.
No,
he
signed. He signed with Detroit. So that's why
TP ain't my boy. I was just saying that
that's your boy. Don't be trying to run from him now.
I was just saying that he was better than what's the dude that we finally got rid of?
Pat Connaughton?
Yeah, I would just say he's better than Pat Connaughton. That's all I was saying. You ain't my boy.
I don't think he was better than Pat Connaughton.
Man, you tripping.
What?
You tripping.
Uh-oh, I gotta go. Talk to y'all later.
Yeah, he tripping. You started something, George. You tripping.
Duncan Robinson. Well, let me thank everybody for being part of the program today. Debo, thank you. Jermaine, thank you. Michelle, thank you. Callers, we thank you. The good Lord will the creek don't rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow, and I'll be over Duncan Robinson actually signing with somebody.
Yeah.
I wonder what that contract is looking like.
That part.
All right. And as always, go from this place in peace.
Lord, open our eyes. He has given us hills and mountains.
AURN News.
I'm Jamin Jackson. Former NBA player Willie Burton says he's seriously considering a Republican run for U.S. Senate in Minnesota. In an exclusive interview with AURN News, Burton says he's exploring a potential campaign and wants to bring community-based solutions to the political stage. When it comes to President Donald Trump, Burton had this to say about how Trump is received in the black community.
I don't think it's the policies. I think it's the way that sometimes he approaches delivering the information on the policy. And number two, I think that that gives the other side an opportunity to dive into it. You look at it like this, bottom line. We have fewer people in jail. We have more people working. That's what I see. I see some issues with the way things are being perceived. But when you look at the bottom line, more people are working, fewer people are in jail. And that's what I look at.